I'm Bradley Barth, Senior Reporter with SC Media. 1 year after the Mirai Internet of Things botnet flooded DNS service provider Dyn with malicious traffic disrupting the operation of major websites, what has changed? And are we any better prepared? To address this issue, I'm speaking today with Dave Lewis, Global Security Advocate at Akamai Technologies, a security, content delivery, and cloud services provider. Dave, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, was the Mirai attack a game changer in the IoT space? And if so, how?
It was very much a game changer because the attackers were using this platform in a way that had not previously been thought of. They were able to leverage a lot of these devices, to muster them together to create an attack platform that we've called Mirai. They had roughly 2.5 million participating IPs in the first attack that we were able to record. And that was really rather remarkable.
So, in that sense, have we gotten better now, or what has the IoT space gotten better in having the experience of going through that attack?
This was a great wake-up call across the board because a lot of the devices that were used were actually leveraged into the platform by using default credentials. So most of these devices had a default username, default password, and they weren't changed because programmatically when somebody would open up their device, IP camera or whatever it happened to be, they weren't forced to change their username, or rather their password at first login. So as a result, the attackers knew this and they were able to attach to these devices that were across the internet and able to actually inject code into them and take them over. So one of the things that have been learned is how to fix this going forward. So the primary vendor that was affected as a result of this particular attack initially went out of their way to actually do a lot of work to make sure that didn't happen again with their particular devices.
IoT manufacturers are generally very adept at getting their products out to market quickly, but sometimes that is at a cost to doing proper risk analysis or vulnerability assessments. So should government step in at this point and better regulate the IoT industry to perhaps force them to be a little more responsible with security?
That's one of the things that I get a little bit upset about because by and large this is something that we should be able to be adults about and be able to fix ourselves. Consumers should be able to vote with their dollars and they should ask for better security in their devices. Manufacturers should take the time to better secure their devices as well. I realize there's time to market issues and they want to get their widget out in front of their prospective buyers ahead of their competition. This I get, but unfortunately when they sidestep security, we see things like Mirai come to the forefront. And hopefully the Mirai botnet will serve as a wake-up call and we will see better attention paid to security going forward.
How are DDoS attacks evolving? What is the next big threat in this space?
Well, volumetric attacks by and large seem to be more frequent, lower traffic, but there are definitely a lot of hit and run attacks, as I like to refer to them. That's not an official stance, but that's how it looks to me. But one of the really interesting things that we saw recently, and unfortunately this occurred while I was on vacation, but our security research team, fantastic crew by the way, they were able to go through and find a particular botnet that we hadn't seen before. This was a botnet that ended up being called WireX, and what it would do is install malicious software onto Android devices and then act as a distributed denial of service botnet. What it was roughly about 300 Google applications in the Play Store that were acting as something they weren't. So you would install one in particular, would put 3 ringtones onto your phone. The ringtones would actually work, but what the user didn't realize is in the background it was actually launching denial of service attacks, even if it was in a sleep state. So much to Google's credit, they ripped those out of their Play Store in pretty short order and was able to mitigate the issue. But this is just an interesting change in things. It's not to say that it is new per se, but it was the first real evidence of a botnet that I've seen myself. There may be other examples.
Sure, and as you had said to me before, perhaps a harbinger of what's to come as well. So
very true.
Thank you very much. Dave Lewis from Akamai Technologies. This has been Bradley Barth, Senior Reporter with SC Media. Until next time, have a safe day online.